All right,
All right, we're live.
awesome.
All right. This is episode 111 of the Battle of Ohio podcast. The Bengals are back in the win column. They're finally looking like the team that we all expected them to be. The Browns have some extra rest time this week. They did get a bit of scary news just a few hours before we started recording,
I hate you.
but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Finally, Steelers fans are dying to see Kenny Pickett play. Because why, Thomas?
Because Mitch Trubisky, Steelers offensive line, Pickham's actually Pickham's pretty good. But you suck, Pittsburgh, and Kennywood sucks. Hope all the victims who were at that tragedy are okay though. Y'all get better. Y'all get better. You suck, Pittsburgh.
Damn right. Hey Thomas, you wouldn't happen to have some headphones or something, would you? Because I'm getting a lot of echo on the sound.
Oh, for real, I do have headphones actually. Here, let me just put them on.
All right. So the let's see. What should we start with this week, Thomas? Bengals or Browns?
I think
What? I think we lost Thomas's audio.
I think we should start with the Bengals. Well, you know what?
Okay,
Here.
I got you now. Got you now.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right,
All right,
awesome.
yeah, we can start with the Bengals. I figured we have less to talk about with the Browns, so we could potentially go with them first. But we can start with the Bengals. So
Yeah,
the
because I already went
Bengals,
with the Bengals.
the Bengals got back in the win column this week, and first of all, I know it's the Jets. Okay, like I'm not let's
Awesome,
not say
Jets.
let's not act like the Bengals just went out and beat the Kansas City Chiefs, who also aren't really looking so good right now. But or the Bills. Let's not go out there who also lost this week. So I don't know. I don't know. But like I mean, it's like the Jets, man. Like I'm not sitting here saying like oh the Bengals are like automatically Super Bowl contenders again. I said they look a lot like the team that we all expected them to be because they really put on a dominant show. Joe Burrow looked a lot more comfortable in the pocket. He took a couple of sacks, one which was really kind of like one of those sacks, like the guy dove at his knee and he kind of started like wincing in pain after that, and we're all just kind of thinking like, no. But beyond that though, I mean, it's just like Joe Burrow had plenty of time in the pocket. It looked like the new additions to the offensive line were doing well against an allegedly great Jets defensive line, which I said during I live streamed during the game, and I said I looked up the stats and it's like I don't really think I think the Jets defensive line is a little overrated, honestly. I think they're everybody's like, oh, they're great because of what they did last year, but this year I haven't really seen it from the Jets defensive line. So I mean, maybe the Bengals did a great thing by putting on a great offensive line performance against a bad defensive line or against a good defensive line. I'm not necessarily going to make that claim though, just because I don't think they've been that great this year.
Mhm.
Uh, But the fact of the matter is the Bengals got back in the win column, and they did it by getting off to a fast start on offense. I wish they would have kind of kept up that. I mean, this could have been like a 40, 50 point game from them, honestly, the way they were playing. They just kind of
Yeah.
they slowed down. And luckily the defense finally got the. I've been talking to Thomas about the defense and how as great as they've been playing, they really need to get some pressures and they need to force some turnovers and stuff. Well, they did that against Joe Flacco this week. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, I thought that I thought the Bengals played pretty well. All things considered, I texted you about Tyler Boyd. I thought T. Higgins had a wonderful catch in the end zone. Um, Still waiting for Jamar Chase to look like Jamar Chase again. He did get there. But no, I mean I thought it looked good. I thought that the offensive line looking a little more consistent. Again, I did play against the Jets, but the Jets still an NFL team. So excuse me. So
Yeah.
there's that. But not only just that, I just thought that it was a good rebound game. You have a short week coming up this week, so you have a Thursday night game to help rebound. Y'all get back to 500, which is be fantastic for y'all.
Well,
That's
if we beat the Dolphins, then that'll prove that this is still a team to be taken seriously because the Dolphins
yeah, I
are,
know.
are
You got them
currently
at
really
home. You
good.
got them on a short week. You get Dolphins on a short weekend at home. So that's big. That's huge, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I like what I'm seeing from the Bengals, man. I like what I'm seeing from Joe Burrow. I like what I'm seeing from Tyler Boyd. I like what I'm seeing from the defense. That was a good rebound game for y'all.
Yeah, it was definitely, it was like the Bengals don't typically actually take advantage of, quote unquote get right games, which is
Mhm.
what, the Jets really were. It's like it's a clearly inferior opponent that you need to go out there and just actually take care of business of. And they actually did it this time, which is nice. It's like, this Bengals team, like I was having an argument with somebody, one of my friends, I don't his name is Jordan Heiser. I don't think he's been on the podcast yet. Might try to get him on at some point. But I was having an argument with him earlier about the impact of CJ Uzama last year, who, by the way, barely did anything against us in that game. CJ Uzama was quiet as hell. I think he had one catch for like 5 yards. But he was trying to make the argument that CJ Uzama's like impact last year was like super hella overrated. At least the way some people talk about it. And I don't necessarily like think that CJ Uzama was like, the reason that the Bengals were so good last year. But I will say I do kind of like I did really, really appreciate like his fiery demeanor and like the way he pumped up the team around him and the way they like, went and had that big run and like, the spirit that he exuded. It's just like, was the team hoping that spirit would come from Joe Burrow? I guess whatever, but it came from somebody, and they went to the Super Bowl, so you can't really complain about that. I mean, I understand Hayden Hurst is a better football player, but the point about CJ Uzama's confidence and his leadership and everything that he brought to the team was that the way this team is constructed this year, they kind of need to like become a new team, right? They need to become they need to transcend being the Bengals, right? Because like being the Bengals, as much as like I want to see like, the team that I grew up with go and win the Super Bowl and stuff like that, they kind of need to become not the team that I grew up with, right? Because like, this is the Bengals. And if like the Bengals, like the traditional Cincinnati Bengals, like they had their shot and they're going to fall apart and do nothing afterwards. If they can transcend and become one of these elite teams in the NFL that's just like consistently good and is very much not like what the Bengals have been for their entire existence, then that's I think that's the key of what they're really trying to shoot for. The fact of the matter is they're going to have to overcome this little brother mentality that they've developed over so many years of losing and coming up short and whatever. And a lot of us fans are always going to have that like chip on our shoulder of like, this Bengals team, we've seen them lose so much, and we just want the NFL to take us seriously. But I think what the Bengals need to do is, instead of being like, man, I want the NFL to take us seriously, that what they really need to do right now is they need to be like, we are a team that deserves to be taken seriously, and if you don't, that's your problem. Because if they try to take that underdog mentality, then that could get in their way.
Yeah, no, the Bengals need to start playing with a chip on your shoulder. You're 100% right. Dang, Daniel Jones got lit up. Uh, no. I mean, I was just gonna say, like, the whole time he was ranting, Daniel Jones looked like really good, and then he got that penalty, and then now he just got lit up, like sacked. It's like, all right, we ain't gonna have you. We ain't gonna let you run all over us no more. You
You
ain't Lamar
suck, Daniel
Jackson.
Jones.
Um, I like what you said though. The Bengals need to start playing with a chip on their shoulder because you have a top 5 quarterback. And so y'all just went to the Super Bowl. Like you said, it's time to stop acting like you're a little brother and start, putting your chest out. Yeah, it's something that I always preach to people in Cleveland. Like, I mean, like, look, Cleveland's not a bad city, man. Don't let the national media just say shit. They don't know anything about us. Like, who cares? Like at this point, because like facts are facts. People just gonna say stuff. But we live in an age where social media is king and is showing the evils and demons and stuff. And one thing I can see from social media is I can see how big of a fan base the Bengals have right now. The Bengals fan base grown. It's embodied. It used to be like, where the hell are the Bengals fans? Now you got Bengals fans everywhere. You know, Joe Burrow is shit. Joe Beasy, man, well, no, Jay Beasy. That's my boy Jacoby Brissett. But but nah. But Joe Burrow, man, he's a nice quarterback, man, and like it's gonna be funny watching him destroy Tua this weekend, this Thursday.
Well, the last time that Joe Burrow and Tua Tagovailoa met up in a game, I believe was back when it was LSU Alabama, right? And that game had some damn fireworks, dude. Do you remember that game? Like LSU Alabama, back in that
I kind of watched it, but I don't really watch college football.
I mean, I don't either, but like I watched that game because the Bengals are really, really bad that year, and we're all like they're probably going to get the number one pick. So I didn't. That was actually that game was the turning point for me because I had actually prior to that game felt like Tua Tagovailoa was the quarterback that I wanted the Bengals to draft number one overall, and that game made me change my mind. I was like, holy shit, Joe Burrow is like the next big thing. I'm telling you.
Hey, man, you had a choice between Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, or Tua. So y'all are set, man. Y'all had such a great quarterback.
I didn't even, I full disclosure, I didn't even believe in Justin Herbert.
Man, we had to pick between Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson.
Well, I mean, should have picked Josh Allen.
Probably should have picked Josh Allen. I'm still not giving him a Baker Mayfield being a good quarterback, but I mean, it's looking awfully mighty suspect right now. He ain't play bad.
Yeah, the Panthers are now not to say like Baker Mayfield looks good or anything like that, but I think the Panthers and like he's got nothing to work with there in Carolina. Carolina's a mess.
He got nothing. He got Christian McCaffrey. That's it. But they won last week. That was a good one.
He had more to work with on some of those awful Browns teams than he has to work with in Carolina.
Yeah, at least he always had Jarvis. I mean, he'll be fine though. I still think he's going to find a way to make the playoffs for that team though, because MC's so bad. Like, how the fuck are the Giants 2-0 right now? They lost to the Giants. That's the only team they lost to. Just thought about that. It just hit me. Yeah.
All right. So I think let's go ahead and move on then. Well, before we move on, we did this with the last episode, but because we're only talking about one team, let's talk about our underrated player of the week. I'll let you go first on this one.
Tyler Boyd.
Just because I'm curious
Tyler Boyd.
You think Tyler Boyd's overrated? The guy who
who the fuck knows Tyler Boyd outside Cincinnati?
Okay, that's fair. I was just gonna say the guy who on this podcast I have called many times the best slot receiver in the NFL.
Yeah, but come on, man. That play was so gangster, man. I gotta give it to him.
Dude, that play was great, dude. That play was so nice.
I was like, ooh, okay, Tyler.
By the way, you mentioned something about T. Higgins' touchdown catch earlier. There was another catch that should have been a touchdown, but because of the stupidest NFL rule on the planet, apparently, if you go up and catch a football in the end zone and you come down and you tap your toes, both toes on the ground, but then your heel comes comes and lands out of bounds, apparently that doesn't count as being in. But it's totally fine if you drag your toes going out of bounds. But if you tap your toes, that doesn't work. Yeah, you have to get your whole foot down if you tap your toes.
Yeah, that's a crazy stupid rule. I can't deal.
Bullshit, dude. But now it didn't end up mattering that much. Bengals got a touchdown on that drive anyway. I think it actually might have been. It was either the next play or the next play after the next play. Bengals ended up getting a touchdown anyway. But it's just man, that was such an amazing catch by T. Higgins. The fact that it's basically nobody's ever going to remember it because it's wiped away by the fact that technically per the NFL rule book, it doesn't count as a catch. Nobody's going to remember it after, like, in a couple of weeks.
Oh, Higgins is nice. Higgins is
Yeah.
nice.
But I didn't mean to get off track though. Like,
No,
Tyler
I mean,
Boyd.
I just think that Tyler Boyd just showed up and shown out. And I feel like when Tyler Boyd's doing well, you already have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, but when you have somebody like Tyler Boyd goes off like that, then the Bengals offense look explosive and hard to stop.
Well, that's the thing. Like the Bengals have, in my opinion, the best wide receiver core in the NFL.
Yeah,
without question. If like, I mean, we saw this week that T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd are no joke. I mean, Jamar Chase had an awful day, dude. Like, I mean, he made a couple of plays happen. So I mean, like he kind of like brought it from the brink of like disaster. But for the most part, Jamar Chase was a disaster in that game. And despite that, the Bengals still had an explosive offense because Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins got it all together for Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I'll tell you this,
In
man.
fact, if we did like an overrated player of the week segment, I don't want to sit here and say like Jamar Chase is just overrated in general, but he definitely looked overrated in that game.
He'll bounce back. He'll bounce back.
No, I'm sure he'll bounce back, and I'm not worried about it. Like in general, I don't even think it's a sophomore slump. I think it's one game. He was awful in that, like god awful in that game. Like, if we'd been doing that,
how bad was he?
Where our offense has to go through Jamar Chase, there's no way we would have won that game. Luckily, we found other ways to get the ball downfield. So I am going to. I think most people who watch that game, in particular Bengals fans, probably knew who I'm going to pick for my underrated player of the week because everybody's talking about him. But I'm going to pick Samaje Perine because, quite frankly, Joe Mixon did not look very good in this game. And I was wondering, I was like, oh, you know what? I wonder if it's the run blocking. It's looking like, I mean, his vision isn't great. I kept saying on the broadcast, I'm like, every time you run to the right, towards Lyle Collins and Alex Kappa, things go pretty well. But every time you run to the left, towards Jonah Williams and Cordell Volson, you get like, maybe a half a yard on the play. So maybe we should try running to the right a little bit more, Joe. And he just never fucking did it. Samaje Perine comes to the game at the very end of the game when all we really need is for like the running game to finally exist so that we can run the clock out and, avoid the Jets like having some sort of sign of life or anything like that. And Samaje Perine comes in playing behind the same exact offensive line that Joe Mixon's been playing behind all game. And Samaje Perine just like dragging the ball down the field. Like every single time he gets hit, he is still like fighting for like 2 or 3 extra yards. And you just don't see that from Joe Mixon. You don't see good vision. You don't see him he's averaging like 3 yards per carry. Samaje Perine's got to be, I don't have the stat in front of me, but he's got to be averaging like 4.5 yards per carry. Honestly, the way that he was definitely during that game averaging like at least 4.5 yards per carry. Like, I'm not saying like, the Bengals should bench Joe Mixon for Samaje Perine. All I'm saying is that Samaje Perine absolutely deserved the second look the way that he played.
Hey, I'm all for the Samaje Perine love. I like Samaje Perine. He was my favorite pick for underrated player of the week last year.
Yeah, he's a solid player. He sometimes has a tendency to be real stagnant. And so like I've never been the biggest fan of him. Like, he's very much a traditional running back and he doesn't always really kind of produce the way that you want him to produce. But I mean, I'm not going to lie, every once in a while, because he has that, like, I never go down type mentality, like, like dudes will hit him and he'll still get like 3 or 4 yards after he gets hit. Like that's Samaje Perine's biggest strength. And quite honestly, that's like when you're in a position at the end of the game where all you need to do is gain some yards and get some first downs and run the clock out. That's what Samaje Perine is perfect for. It's like you'd like to see that out of your ultra multi-million-dollar running back Joe Mixon, but he's just not doing that. And, quite frankly, I'm starting to get a little concerned. Like, why are you producing like this, Joe?
Hopefully they hit that running back wall.
I hope not.
How old is he now?
That's a good question. 28?
Yeah, he's getting up there in his 20s, man. That's when it starts to happen. I mean, a lot of running backs make at least 30 before they start to lose production, but you know what I mean? Like, it's
Usually 30 is where the wall is. He's
yeah.
26, by the way.
Oh, he's 26. Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah.
He's being a bum.
I think he's it looks to me like it's a vision problem. He's not seeing the lanes properly. He's not hitting the holes where he obviously needs to hit them. Where me, somebody who's never played running back before, can clearly see them on the field. Like, on a
but
TV
you also have
broadcast,
something called camera technology where you could look at multiple angles. Like, you talking about being like it's crazy how like we look at it and then we're looking at it from like, oh, we got the perfect vision, we got the perfect like camera angle of it. But like, I mean, these people on the field, they don't got all the angles that we have.
Well, yes, but he's also been doing it for a lot longer than me. So,
Yeah.
like, I mean, you think that would make up for the angles?
You think, right?
All right, so let's go ahead and I think move on. Bengals get the win, and that's awesome. 1 and 2 teams have done fine at 1 and 2 before. There's any team that's kind of
2 days, so like Thursday night football is great for that reason because you could turn around, especially early in the season, you could like really like get some momentum. Thursday night football is a great way to get momentum.
Well, and honestly, like were it not for like had we been a little tiny bit luckier those first 2 games, we could be 3-0 right now. Quite frankly,
shit, we should be 3-0. No, we should be 3-0 right now.
Well, yeah, if you hadn't blown that lead to the Jets.
Hey, shit, man. I mean, I kind of think they needed that shit because, like, because that defense needed to come together.
Yep.
That defense needed to come. Speaking of defense coming together, shit.
So tell me what happened with Myles Garrett, Thomas.
Got an accident. Car flipped over 3 times.
Car flipped over 3 times. Wow.
Yeah, no, he was driving his Porsche. So like as I know, we getting all this rain right now. Y'all probably getting a lot of rain too. We getting a hell of rain right now. And
we're not getting any rain.
What that?
We're not getting any rain right now. I'm sure we will.
It's been raining here all day. It's been raining here all day, dude. It's been like crazy raining up here. So dude was coming back from practice. Right. He slid out the road and flipped over 3 times. Wow. We don't know how severe the injuries are right now, but nothing life threatening. But we know for sure that car is fucked up. He's obviously hurt. I don't know. I don't think he's playing. I don't think he's playing this weekend. If I'm being real with you.
From what I can tell, from like the preliminary stuff that I've read, it sounds like they're saying he avoided any major injuries.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
So
I don't know.
So if that's, I like, you can't really speculate on this stuff without knowing the facts.
Yeah, we don't know. You just don't know.
It's not really. I don't think it's really great to do a lot of speculating. I'll just say from what I've heard so far, it sounds like he's going to be fine. So
yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna, we just gonna wait and see what happens. But at least he's safe, though. At the very least, he's safe.
That's true.
Okay.
So, who the Browns got coming up this week?
Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
So good for us. I mean, shit. You get the Falcons. You get a bounce back game with the Steelers. Since you won a division game, technically you're in first place of the division because you had a division game over everybody else.
Hey man, Falcons won this week. Don't overlook them too quickly.
What the fuck did I just say? Did I say anything about the Falcons, Jay? Did I say anything about the Falcons? And let me say this, Kyle. This team got no fucking business overlooking any team in the NFL because of the fact that they just lost to the Jets. And that's actually why I'm actually happy the loss just happened, because it happened early enough in the season where all these motherfuckers learned a lesson. Like, y'all learned a real lesson. Everybody got a moment where they get humbled in the NFL. shit, at least they got humble early because they're gonna need that humbleness. Because the thing is that the Falcons you should still beat the Falcons. You should beat the Falcons. Still fucking beat the top Falcons. I mean, they got a good running back, but you should beat the motherfuckers. You still got a better team than they do. You still got a great secondary, even without Myles Garrett. You have a fantastic secondary. Still got better running back room. Still got better receiver room. Still got everything's better than the Falcons. Beat the fucking Falcons. I don't give a fuck about anything. I don't give a fuck about ESPN going like, oh yeah, the Browns suck, and all these motherfuckers, oh yeah, the Browns suck. Beat the fucking Falcons, man. Just beat the motherfuckers. Beat them motherfuckers. I don't care if y'all losing by 20 by the third quarter. It's the fucking Falcons. The only team more cursed than the Browns is the Falcons. Every team in Atlanta is more cursed than every team in Cleveland, with the exception of the Atlanta Braves for some reason. When the fuck did Saquon Barkley find Jesus?
I was about to say the same thing. Like
this dude.
He finally exists.
Like this dude is finally having the season that I thought he would have 3 years ago. Yo, but no, I mean, like, I just beat the Falcons. What can I say?
I think we were calling the Jets game a must-win for the Bengals. I don't think it's a must-win for the Browns because I mean, y'all have had. I don't because like the whole idea is you just kind of like get whatever wins you can get out of this portion of the season and then hope that Deshaun Watson comes back and can lead you to the playoffs.
Well, it's a must-win, dude. You got to win.
Every game's a must-win.
Well, here's the thing. You beat the Falcons, you're 3-1. Then you play a struggling Chargers team with a hurt quarterback. You play a struggling Patriots team after that with a hurt quarterback. You could win. The Browns should win 2 out of the next 3 weeks. If you win 2 out of the next 3 weeks, you're 4-2. But honestly,
so why is this a must win then?
Because the Falcons is the easiest one. You want to get that momentum rolling going to Chargers. Because you can beat the Chargers, that would be big, man.
Well, yeah, but that's not what a must win means.
Oh, I know what it is.
Must wins means if you don't win, then you're fucked. Like I think.
No, I know it isn't. But these motherfuckers just lost. These motherfuckers lost to the Jets, and like I just need them to just fucking just do whatever they can to get that fucking stink out their mouth.
So it's a must win for you personally.
Because they lost to the Jets, I'm tired of people going like, oh yeah, lost to the Jets. Like, yeah, we just beat the Steelers. We're 2-1. We're first place in the division. Like, yeah, we just lost to the Jets. God damn it. We can win a fucking Super Bowl. I'm gonna be like, well, I lost to the Jets. Well, suck my dick, internet guy. God dang. Can't escape this shit.
Let's talk about these predictions, Thomas.
Let's talk about these predictions.
About a half hour in, I think it's time to go ahead and start talking about these predictions. So, just want to point out, I did not have a good week at all. Still 1 game left to go, so we'll see if I can pull it together here.
Who you pick?
But I picked the Cowboys.
Oh, okay.
Not looking so good right now, but it's the Giants. I could see them collapsing.
Saquon Barkley, baby.
Yeah. You on the other hand, Thomas, you had a much better week than me. You did so well that you're actually ahead of me on the season now.
Yes. I'm sorry.
By 1 game, but still.
Oh yeah, wait, hold on. Look at my Tiger Woods. Yeah. That motherfucker be doing that shit. He gotta go like, yeah.
So just real quick, let's go over the games that we both got wrong. So I think everybody on the planet got this one wrong, but the Colts taking down the Chiefs. Now that shit's funny. First of all,
it's hilarious, actually.
And I'm happy. I'm happy for Matt Ryan. And it's just like I don't have any real beef with the Chiefs. I just like chaos. And Chiefs fans are pretty fucking arrogant lately. So, it's kind of cool to see him get, knocked down a couple pegs.
Yeah, they needed that. Yeah,
We were both wrong about the Dolphins. We thought that they were we thought the Bills were going to get that game, and the Bills almost did win that game, by the way. The Dolphins punted into the long or into the Dolphins punter punted the ball into one of
butt punt.
Yeah, the butt punt.
They practice that in practice.
Clearly not, but
That
but
ball
look,
went off
they ended up. What's funny is they only won by 2 points, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, that came real close to being a deciding factor in the game, and the Bills almost pulled that off at the end. That's the thing. They didn't. I think everybody expected the Bills to make it happen.
Yeah, they ran out of time.
Yeah, and that sucks because they're only down. They're only down 2 points, and you're driving the ball. All you got to do is get a field goal, and they run out of time. That just really sucks.
Oh, that's why the offense.
How do you have the Bills are the team that it took them 15 seconds in the AFC Championship to drive the ball back down the field and take it to overtime or something like that.
Yeah, no, it's insane.
But they couldn't get a field goal in 1 minute and 33 seconds.
Yeah, no, they just couldn't execute. There was a lot of communication issues that I noticed from the Bills too in that game. Josh Allen looked human. I don't really think that's gonna hold up. I still think the Bills are the Bills. I just think the Dolphins are just more mentally prepared. But I mean, it's the first 4 weeks of the season. Games like this happen in the first 4 weeks of the season because, teams for one are still figuring out themselves. Every year, every team is different from year to year, and it's just so upsets like this happen. That's why the Colts can beat the Chiefs. Gotta love the NFL, baby.
Yep. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I love the chaos of it all.
Oh yeah, I love it. That's why I like it a lot more than college.
Mm-hmm. Well, you say that, but dude, did you see OU's game this weekend?
Oh yeah, I did actually. But dude, see, OU versus Ohio State gonna smoke OU.
Well, yeah, but I mean, OU versus Fordham. You had a.
It's fun. It's fun.
That was a really fun game. I actually I actually got assigned to work that game via PFF. I probably wouldn't have watched it otherwise. But,
it was a great game.
Man, that ending, dude.
Yeah, what a great game. They needed that because they played back-to-back Division I or Power 5 teams, and they needed that win because I was worried they would lose the confidence against Iowa State and Penn State. But I tell you, man, what's his name? The quarterback Rodolph. He had 400 yards again.
Something. I mean, they scored
he put up some good numbers, man. He was putting good. Keep an eye on that kid. If you can put on numbers like that, they can win the MAC.
That would be cool.
They need to win the MAC. They haven't won the MAC since the 50s. It's been a while.
They haven't won the MAC since the 50s.
It's been a long time.
Didn't they win the national championship in the 60s?
Maybe all I know it's been a while since they won the MAC. I don't know. Let me see. I'll look it up. But yeah, you go on to the next team while I look up when the last time they won the MAC.
So we were talking about them earlier, but the next game that we both got wrong, we both picked the Seahawks to beat the Falcons. I think this is just a simple case of neither of us believing in the Falcons for good reason, I think. But the Falcons pulled it off this week.
I think it's a case of us putting too much stock in the Seahawks.
See, that wasn't that wasn't my reasoning. My reasoning was the Falcons are bad.
Well, the Falcons beat a bad team. It's not like they beat the fucking Chiefs.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it's a super duper impressive win. I'm just saying we got it wrong.
Yeah, I know we did get it wrong. I'm just thinking about could we play the Falcons next week and the Falcons come up to we We beat the Seahawks last week. Ooh. Well, okay. Congratulations. You beat Geno Smith.
Man,
I mean,
Geno Smith's a better quarterback than Jacoby Brissett. First of all,
Geno Smith's a better quarterback than Mitsubishi, but Jacoby don't look bad. Jacoby Brissett's been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL the first 3 weeks.
one of the safest.
Statistically, he's been one of the best.
I'm gonna have to look that one up. But
You're the one
next
who got
game,
Pro Football Focus all pepped out and stuff, Mister. Get ready. Get your notes ready for next podcast. Okay.
Next game we both got wrong. We both picked the Cardinals over the Rams, and that was foolhardy. I think. Yeah, I didn't really like either of these two teams, honestly. Like I was going back and forth. I'm like, I don't really like the Rams, but I don't really like the Cardinals. I don't really know who to pick here. And the Rams ended up winning, but I mean, honestly, I did not feel confident about my pick at all because like the Cardinals are bad.
By the way, the Bobcats haven't won the MAC since 1968. Was the last year. They did win a national title in 1960. I don't know how to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not the 50s.
They won a national title in 1960.
Yeah,
man. Can you imagine? Like
if they won today, that would be interesting.
Man, can you imagine? Boy, can you imagine? That'd be insane. Maybe another 50 years.
Holy shit. Okay, so per PFF, Jacoby Brissett is the 4th highest graded quarterback in the NFL.
That's what I've been saying. I've been literally just saying that to you. I've been telling you, Jacoby hasn't been looking like, dude. Like I had a chance to watch this dude play up close. No, he looks good. Like he looks good. Like I'm just like, oh, okay. Like I remember, okay, we was in the game Thursday. This guy sitting like 3 rows in front of me. It was right after that play action pass where Jacoby Brissett rolled off play action and throw a strike to Cooper up the middle. And then he looks at us, and then like the guy stands up, and he's just like, Jacoby fucking Brissett, bro. Like who knew?
Jacoby Brissett is 4, but you know who's 3?
Joe Burrow.
Lamar Jackson.
Oh yeah, no, he's balling. Lamar Jackson's on one, and I hate to admit it. I hate to eat crow with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson playing very well this year, and I can't wait to see him play for the New York Giants.
Also, Joe Burrow is 19. Like, Joe Burrow's not having a good start to the year. He had a good game against the Jets, but
Joe Burrow's better than Jacoby Brissett.
Oh, well, I mean, a lot of these quarterbacks on this list are better than Jacoby Brissett, but dudes get hot, and especially when it happens early in the season, then it can kind of skew the numbers. But all right, last game that we both got wrong. We both picked the Buccaneers to take down the Packers, and my reasoning was the Buccaneers seem to have the Packers number. Mm-hmm. They didn't this week though. Packers got them.
That boy Aaron Rodgers, man.
Boy, he's a grandpa at this point.
Yeah, he's nice though.
I mean, he can be, but he didn't really do much in this game. It was a very low scoring game. Like, I thought, Aaron Rodgers threw 2 touchdowns and an interception. Packers only won 14-12.
Yeah, that's true. It's insane how low scoring that game was, considering the fact that these 2 of the greatest quarterbacks of all time going at it.
Yeah,
24 points.
You'd hope for a lot more, but really, it was just like outside of a few teams, it was a really bad week for offense, honestly.
Yeah, well, that's been across the NFL. Yeah, I was actually looking at that. I heard they were talking about on the radio today, actually.
Yeah. All right, so that's all we got for games that we both got wrong. So I'm gonna eat crow for a little bit, and then I'm gonna make you eat crow for a little bit.
All right, cool. Why you eat
You're not gonna have to eat nearly as much crow as me though,
All right, why
because
you eating crow?
I got a bunch of games wrong.
All right, let's go.
So Titans Raiders, another game that almost like the Raiders almost came back and won that game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was my reasoning. Like I don't really believe in the Titans this year, and I think that was a good example of that. What the hell? Go away. Sorry, I had some noise coming in my background. Yeah, man, like the Titans, I don't really think they're that good of a football team. The fact they almost collapsed against the Raiders, who didn't play well for the vast majority of that game, I think that's a example of where the Titans are at. But I mean, you got to give them credit; they held on, and won that game.
Yes, and yes. I think it's fantastic how bad the Raiders look. I really do think that it's fantastic how bad the Raiders look because it's another team in the AFC that won't be a problem. And then fantastic the Titans look bad because there's another team in the AFC that won't be a problem. Goes back to my theory that I think a 9-8 team is going to make the playoffs, but that's going to be easy $20. That's going to be easy $20.
I also I picked the Broncos, or I picked the 49ers over the Broncos. Also almost happened because neither team could play any lick of offense. I think the Broncos won 12-11. And it was funny. Everybody talks about how Jimmy Garoppolo like masterfully avoided a pick six by stepping out of bounds in the end zone and playing like 4-dimensional chess and everything like that. But the fact of the matter is the 49ers only lost by 1 point. So that safety doomed them anyway. Yeah. Like if it hadn't been for that safety, like the pick six wouldn't have made any difference to the final outcome of the game if it had been a pick six instead of a safety. So it's just like maybe just like don't screw up the play that badly in the first place.
Well,
man, that was a wild game though. I will say, like everybody was like, "Oh, it's such a terrible game to watch." Like no, it was not. That was a fascinating game to watch. Like y'all need to learn to enjoy defense. Like defense can be fun to watch if you like football.
I enjoy defense.
That's the thing, man. Like it was a very defensive game, but it was fascinating. Like I mean, yeah, like the quarterbacks were terrible, but I mean, do you watch football only to watch quarterbacks play? I don't.
A lot of people do.
I thought that was an incredible game. I very much enjoyed watching that game because it was.
I didn't watch it, but I mean, like I bet you, I probably could get a kick out of it myself.
I like football. I didn't like the outcome because it made me wrong, but I kind of like the Broncos and I don't like the 49ers, so I guess it worked out in that way.
Yeah, it did.
Next game that I got wrong, I thought that the Washington Commanders were going to show up to their football game, and they did not. I called the Eagles frauds, and then I called the Eagles frauds, and then the Eagles put an absolute smackdown. So
man, Jalen Hurts the truth, man.
I believe in Jalen Hurts. I wasn't trying to talk shit about Jalen Hurts. I was trying to talk shit about the rest of the Eagles team. But they look good, man.
Man, you called Jalen Hurts the baby Dak, man. He's nice, man. He was throwing some dimes.
Yeah, he was playing real well.
I didn't expect that from him. I was like, man, I didn't know you throw like this, Jalen. You've been working on his arm the offseason. Jalen's nice.
Actually, per Pro Football Focus, he's the highest graded passing.
Yeah, he's nice. Yeah, the Eagles are going to be a problem.
He's number 1 and 2 is number 2.
Yeah, the Eagles are going to be a problem.
The Eagles could be a problem. All right, so that was the games that I got wrong. Now it's time for you to eat crow, quite literally, because the game that you got wrong, that I did not get wrong, was I predicted the Ravens to beat the Patriots. Because like I said, it just kind of felt like the kind of game that they win. It
Yeah,
just kind
they
of felt
won.
like the kind of game that the Ravens win, and they almost lost that game. A lot of these
But
games
yeah,
like came
the
down to the
Patriots hung
wire.
on for most of that game, man.
The Ravens didn't come out of that game looking good at all, but they won.
I tell you, it confirms my theory. I don't really think the Ravens are as I'm not gonna say I don't think they're like. 'Cause I think they're good. I just think they have a lot of problems. I don't think that they're dominant. I think they're going to be a very beatable team. Last year, the Ravens went 8-9 at the same record as the Browns, and it's worth mentioning they started to look bad before Lamar Jackson got hurt. Because you remember at the end of the year, before Lamar Jackson got hurt, he was throwing picks everywhere.
Yeah.
I just find that interesting. I mean, Lamar looks good right now, but I don't know, man. You ever just watch the Ravens and think to yourself, this isn't sustainable?
Quite often, yes.
And
But I
every
also often watch the Ravens, and I'm like, man, like everybody says this team is good. I don't see it.
like every single year they make the playoffs and get smacked out the first round. But last year, like they just completely fell apart. But like I just feel like that there's more validity. There's more validity to it. Like the Browns last season go like, all right, well the Browns fell apart last season halfway through the season. They did. You know what they did? They got rid of all the dramatic people in the locker room, not just Baker Mayfield, but Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham, who bought all that jumping around the locker room. They said, bye, get the fuck out of here, go, leave. We don't need this bullshit. We got a culture problem, so we won't get rid of the culture problem. What did the Ravens do over the offseason that really, I mean, I know they made some big free agent signings here and there, but like what did they really do? Like who's Lamar Jackson really throwing to, man? I just don't think that what the Ravens are doing is sustainable. They don't really look they don't scare me.
Well, they're drafting well, I think is the thing. Like
They are drafted well. They always
that's
draft
all
well.
like long-term type of stuff.
That is long
And
term.
it's just like is Lamar Jackson going to be around for the long term is the question.
It's a really good question that's been asked on SportsCenter for the last year, or ever since that trade for Deshaun Watson for the Browns, which is just hilarious to me. But getting back to the game itself, Mac Jones got hurt. That's the big news too. So the Browns play the Patriots in 2 weeks or 3 weeks without Mac Jones. So that's big for us. I think the Bengals play the Patriots too coming up too. So the Patriots don't look like a good team. So that's one less team in AFC to worry about. And
I was never worried about the Patriots.
What?
I was never worried about the Patriots. Like
Yeah,
I thought they might be one of those teams that's like competing for a wild card spot, but I didn't think they were going to be like a real factor this year.
Yeah, so now you're looking at it like they're beatable. And the Ravens, they look like they let the Patriots hang around that game too easily to the point where you're like, there's some questions here that there's some questions I want to ask about. And I will argue if the Patriots had a more confident quarterback or a more confident offensive coordinator, they might have been able to come back in that game and win it. They had opportunities. So, I mean, I don't know, man. The Ravens have some problems, but it's whatever. I'll let them have this W. Patriots look bad though. Patriots look bad actually.
So that's actually, I think, a good transition into the state of the AFC North. I think
only got one game wrong this week.
Do what?
I got one game wrong this week.
You only got one game wrong we had a bunch of games that we both got wrong, but you only had one game wrong.
That you didn't get wrong. Right. That's great. That's great. That's great. That's great.
So that is why you're now a game ahead of me in the.
That's what you call a comeback.
Yeah, you were getting pretty far behind there.
Yeah, I came back 13 points with a minute and a half to go. All right, let's get into the state of AFC North.
I don't know if it's quite a minute and a half to go because we got 14 games.
No. It was so. I meant by that joke.
I know, but my point is there's still plenty of season left, Thomas.
I know. I just,
What
just
on
give me,
earth
just give me
kind
this moment. Just give me this W. Just give me this dub. I gave the Ravens their dub. Just give me this dub. All right.
of?
So since we're on the Ravens, you just want to keep on talking about the Ravens because like cause I could go on about them all day. What do you guys say about the
Well,
Ravens?
yeah,
I'm ready.
go ahead, go ahead. I'm interested to hear what more you have to say about him.
I just don't think that. hmm, I think that there's tension in the Ravens organization right now. I think there's tension. I think that there's. I mean, you got J.K. Dobbs coming back. I don't think that last season was good. I don't think that there was anything good about last season. I think that would when you have a season like you did last season with a guy like Lamar Jackson, like we always argue, there's a clock on Lamar Jackson. How long will athleticism last? How long can he play on this high level? Because he doesn't really have a long time at playing this high level. So so I think that they all think that they're all on an eternal clock in their head. But not only just that, I mean, that contract situation, that's a big thing. I know Lamar Jackson can say all the right things and everything. He looks nice. He looks really nice. He looks really nice. He looks like he's a guy out there playing for a new contract, quite frankly, if I would say myself. But it just feels like there is division. It feels like there. You watch that game, it doesn't seem like a team that is all the way put together. It feels like they're whole. It feels like they're skating off of talent right now. And I just wonder how long is it sustainable for this team before we start to see them kind of implode? Because I think this Ravens team could implode. They might not. Lamar Jackson go on for another MVP season. Like he's that good. Lamar Jackson is that good. But there are problems, man. There are problems with that team. And I thought they were gonna blow another league last week, like they did the last week. And I don't know, man. It's just there's problems. We're gonna see what happens. It's gonna be interesting.
I definitely think that the Ravens, as it pertains to Lamar Jackson, I really feel like I feel like the biggest issue with last year is they wasted a year of having Lamar Jackson to kind of
Yeah.
like, create that situation where he wants to come back. I'm starting to wonder, like, does Lamar Jackson want to come back to Baltimore? Like, is he
Hey
really bought
man,
into John Harbaugh in the system?
I mean the Giants look good. The Giants look like they're missing a quarterback.
That would be really interesting to see Lamar Jackson in
Lamar
New
Jackson,
York. I
Saquon.
don't know if it would necessarily happen. That's my only thing. Like the Giants aren't really like their offensive scheme kind of like revolves around Daniel Jones. I just think that if they move on from Daniel Jones, they're going to be moving on from a lot of people in the organization who create that scheme, right? Like Brian Daboll. I don't see Brian Daboll being the type of head coach that necessarily meshes with Lamar Jackson quite so well. Like, he did really well with like Josh Allen, who's a
Huh?
completely different human being.
I just think that he looks so good on this team, man. I'm just watching this team right now. I'm like, our defense looks fine. Saquon looks fine.
Well, they're also
See,
playing the Cowboys.
that's true. But I think Saquon's just good. I just think that you insert Lamar Jackson to this team. I think that he makes it a world difference. I mean, I don't know.
Could.
We're gonna see though, because I wonder. Lamar Jackson didn't really look that good at the end of last season. Like as the season went on last year, Lamar Jackson was worse.
Yeah. That's kind of my thing. Like, I almost feel like you could say the same thing. Like, if the Ravens lose Lamar Jackson, you could probably say the same thing about them. Like, man, imagine if this team had a quarterback like Lamar Jackson. How good would they be? Like, if you take Lamar Jackson out of Baltimore, you probably start saying some of that stuff. Like, if only they had a quarterback type of
Yeah,
thing.
because they have good coach and everything. But that kind of makes me wonder about whether or not I'm just having this thought like, dude, like we're saying, like, do the Ravens want? Is Lamar Jackson was saying in Baltimore, are the Ravens scared to sign Lamar? Like you're are you do you have the balls to give a $300 million guaranteed to somebody who is one hit away from not being the same player? I know that's every player, but this guy solely relies on his athleticism, and that's going to go away, and that's going to go away sooner than later. And so, like, what's Lamar like 24, 25 right now? So you got to get like, I mean, like, I don't know, man. It just, I would just have buyer's remorse pretty quickly. Like you can only sign Lamar Jackson. If you re-sign Lamar Jackson to to a contract like that, you better win a Super Bowl within 3 years.
I mean, I guess my thing is like, to have an expert, amazing transition to the next team. Do you, Thomas, have the balls to give $14 million to Mitch Trubisky? Now that takes balls. Because that's what the Steelers did, and half of that was guaranteed, by the way.
Shit,
so basically, an entire season's worth of money was guaranteed for Mitch Trubisky, and this is what they're getting out of him. It doesn't look good,
man. Yeah, no, it doesn't look good. He didn't look good at all. He looked scared. You know what I noticed about him actually was crazy because I texted you that the Browns were gonna come back. I realized the Browns were gonna come back because he started off hot. But the reason why he started off hot is because the Steelers at the beginning of the game, they were able to disguise how bad he was at the beginning of the game with different schemes, different looks, different stuff they did with Najee Harris and shit like that. But like there was a moment in the game where I watched him drop back because he did get a lot of protection on his offensive line. There was moments where I watched the game and you could just see him just looking around. He's just like, no, I'm not going there. It looks like you're like, no, I'm not going there. And you're like, damn, I'm not going there. And you're like, fuck, just throw it away. Like you literally see his head like turning, and then you just like that's what I love about going to football games. Like you never tell me that going to a football game or watching a football game on television is better than going. But no, I mean like you could tell that he was nervous about the passes that he was making. I mean, he's playing against the Browns. Still, always talk about how bad the Browns are. They're always joking about how bad we are and how much louder their stadium is than ours. And somebody who's been to both stadiums, their stadium isn't louder than ours. But whatever. Whatever. But I mean, Mississippi's not look good at all. He did, especially that second half. That second half, defense found him out, and then he couldn't do shit.
Speaking of a team coming together in the second half, did you just see that catch by CeeDee Lamb?
I did. That was
incredible.
That was insane. To do that in a stadium like that right now, that stadium's going right now.
Yeah. I mean, dude, he corralled that thing in with one hand. He didn't just catch it with one hand. He corralled it.
Cooper Rush, man.
Don't talk to me about Cooper Rush. I don't want to hear about it. I don't know why we can't beat Cooper Rush.
Oh, because he dropped that one earlier. He did drop that one. But that like, can't catch it with one hand, so you can't catch it with two hands, so you got to catch it with one hand. That's a nice catch.
Ooh, you know what? Actually, it looked like that ball was wobbling. Like, obviously, it's too late now, but it looked like that ball was wobbling. Like, I wonder, was that a catch? Because, like, by the time he, like, actually gains control of the ball, he's out of bounds.
True.
I mean, not that it matters now. The play's already, another play's already been run. But, I wonder if that was the Cincinnati Bengals, would the refs call that a catch? Probably not.
Damn what it was called a catch with Browns.
Exactly.
Man. So what do you got on the Steelers, man? Because I'm letting the game on the Steelers. Like we gotta roast the Steelers because this is gonna be a fun season to be not a Steelers fan.
I feel like I did just roast the Steelers. They spent $14 million on Mitch Trubisky, and now the Pittsburgh fans are chanting, Kenny Pickett.
You know what's crazy, man, is that Steelers fans, like, they look like defeated. Like, I've been in games where we beat the Steelers, and they'd be like, yeah, whatever, y'all still the Browns. No, Steelers fans are scared right now.
Yeah, because they're finally having to like reconcile with the fact that like their team isn't fucking immortal. Their team has been like
And Kenny
making a
Pickett's
lot
probably
of
not.
bad decisions for a very long time, and the rents finally come due.
I don't.
They
Man,
can't
see,
hide behind Ben Roethlisberger anymore.
that's the whole point. Because the thing is that Pittsburgh will have these players with these bad attitudes and shit. But one thing that Ben Roethlisberger did a good job of, like, you do what the fuck you want outside locker room and shit. But we got to play football. And Ben Roethlisberger was a leader. He's an asshole, but he's still a leader.
Well,
So
he wasn't just a leader, but he was like he was creative. I think that's the main thing. Like he found
yeah,
ways to make something out of nothing. And it's just like I said, you can't hide behind Ben Roethlisberger anymore. And like, intelligent Steelers fans, which they do exist, by the way, believe it or not,
yeah.
but intelligent Steelers fans know that this shit's been coming for years. And the only reason it hasn't already happened is because Ben Roethlisberger is insane. And even when he's like terrible, he's still somehow still insane and finds ways to make nothing out of something or something out of nothing.
But I
But
mean, not only just that is that I think the Steelers are suffering from not having a man. I thank God every day for this Kevin Stefanski not having an offensive minded head coach. I
yep,
thank God for Kevin Stefanski, man, because like that offense for the Steelers just looked bad.
horrible. I mean, like like Steelers fans are just like Matt Canada is
And they
basically
got
like
weapons.
Matt Canada's name is basically like an epithet in Pittsburgh right now.
They
That's how
got
bad
weapons
they
too.
feel about him. Do they though? Like is Deontay
I mean, you got
Johnson really a
Najee
weapon?
Harris, you got Pickums, you got Claypool, so you don't got bad receivers. But
Okay,
I mean,
so
maybe
first of all, Claypool's a bitch.
yeah, yes.
Second of
I think
all,
I'm starting,
second
but
of
I'm starting
all,
to think
like
that like these receivers just look good because they just had Ben Roethlisberger quarterbacking.
second of all, is Najee Harris really like a weapon? I guess he's like an
He
offensive weapon. He's
should
definitely
be.
not like a passing game weapon though.
I don't know. I thought they're like their last two first round picks were just bad. Let's be real.
Terrible. But that's my point.
I
The
feel
Steelers have been making
ACC
these
in the first
decisions
round
for
2 years in a
years.
row.
It's not just the last 2 years though. They've been making these terrible decisions for years. They've been like just like expecting, oh, we can do whatever we want because we're the Steelers. We just kind of win anyway. But they won anyway because Ben Roethlisberger covered a ton of sins. Like Ben Roethlisberger covered so many blemishes because he was creative and just found ways to do something, and they had a good defense. But they've been making these terrible team destroying decisions for years, and now they can't do anything about it. And Mike Tomlin as a coach is being exposed. Like, oh
Yeah.
shit, you can't hide behind Ben Roethlisberger anymore. Look what's happening. Steelers
Well,
fans are
a
having to
lot of
come to
people
the
make the same
realization
argument
that the
for
only reason their team was good was because they had a Hall of Fame quarterback.
a lot of people make that same argument for the Patriots right now, which is insane. Think about um it just is makes you think like I think the lesson here. See, I was always I think one thing that I figured out this year is that you always want an offensive minded head coach as your head coach instead of a defensive minded head coach.
Well, these days, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, man, what is these refs so freaking buff, man? Like every single time, like
Some of them. You ever
he
seen Ed Hockley?
no.
Dude, some of these refs are insanely
Oh
buff.
no,
Like
this
Ed
dude
Hockley
Jack.
is,
Like his
yeah,
his bicep is insane. Every single time he goes like, hold it on the defense. I'm like, damn, put that thing away, dude. Children are watching. Like the fuck. Thing is huge. It's like this big. It just comes out like it just flaps out like roots. I'm like, God damn. Damn, dude.
this
Put me on
is
your workouts.
this is the kind of quality content that you've all come for.
Biceps like that. This motherfucker Kenny Galloway keep on dropping balls.
Yeah, he's terrible. I'm glad we didn't sign him.
Yeah, fuck you, Kenny Galloway. Like, look at this shit.
I think
Catch it. 2 steps, drop.
I think I'm starting to feel pretty good about my prediction that the Cowboys are gonna end up winning this game, and That will put us back to being tied on the season, by the way.
That's fine. I'll take that. I was losing by a lot.
You know, you'll still have substantially well. You will
Oh,
beat
Jamie
me by
Gillen, he's
2
a punter
games.
for the Giants. I love that guy.
Yeah, I know, right?
Scottish Hammer, baby.
I think the
Oh, he
Cowboys
just made a hell of a
love
good
that guy
tackle,
too.
Scottish Hammer. Still, he's still
Why
party.
did you guys get rid of him?
Party too
Corey
much.
Bajorquez isn't even exactly like, you know, a top tier punter.
Parties too much, man. He parties too much. Dude just be at the bars all the time, just drinking and shit.
That's fine. He's the punter.
To an extent. Like you can party all you want as long as you ain't making stupid mental mistakes on game day.
Was he making stupid mental mistakes?
Not other than that, it's just that he's just been consistent. Like I just feel like I don't know, like this is the reason why he got released. I like him. You're talking about his biggest fan. But I just felt like he made some mistakes that he shouldn't have made.
I mean, that's fair. But I think that's probably we probably need to go ahead and wrap it up here. We're over the hour mark.
Shout out to the Scottish Hammer.
Shout out to the Scottish Hammer. Even when he was on the Browns, I still like that dude. But anyway, that's gonna do it for this episode of the Battle of Ohio podcast, guys.
Should we make the prediction for Thursday in case we don't make it on Wednesday?
Oh yeah, we're probably that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, because we shoot on Friday.
So I'm gonna pick the Bengals.
Okay. Anything else? Any reason why?
Do I need to explain why? Because the Bengals look like the Bengals now, and the last time we saw Joe Burrow and Tua Tagovailoa go up against each other, that game had some damn fireworks, but Joe Burrow came out victorious. And the offensive line starting to gel, and it's just like, I've got this feeling that this is where the comeback starts on the season. If we beat the Dolphins the way the Dolphins have been playing, if we beat the Dolphins, it's going to be hard to say that there's any team out there who can really, necessarily beat us.
I'm also going to pick the Bengals. Thursday night football, home teams always have advantage Thursday night football. Also, like you said, man, Joe Burrow is good. I think Jamar Chase is going to start looking like Jamar Chase again. One thing about these Thursday night football games are always fun. Thursday night football is a game of instinct and a game of skill. And so I really do think that the instinct of the Bengals offense is going to come alive. I think that they're going to get rolling. And, Thursday night games are great because within a week, you go from 0-2 to 2-2. That's why Thursday night games are so great. So I want the Bengals.
All right. So we're both taking the Bengals in that one, which is field goal is good. So we're both taking the Bengals on Thursday night. Hopefully we'll be back to record before the Thursday night game. But if not, at least we got our predictions in. At least we talked about the game a little bit. So, like I said, that's going to do it for this episode of the Battle of Ohio podcast, guys. Thanks for watching. You can always catch more of what I do at Kyle Phelps 92 on Twitter, Facebook.com/The Phelps. My YouTube channel, which is Kyle Phelps. I'm trying to upload as much as I can right now. My life is kind of insane in the background. And then Thomas, catch him at T_star94 on Twitter and Instagram, and then the Thomas J Network on YouTube and TikTok. And you got any music videos coming out?
Probably not till later next month. But okay. I did drop one. So,
Well, there you go.
Yeah, coming soon.
All right. Well, that's going to be it, guys. So I'll leave y'all with a hoo-day.
Go Browns.